So what's the issue? You have a vacant property you're buying or selling?
Yeah, buying. Just had this feeling that there could be a possibility the tenant doesn't want to leave, but I want to be able to put something in there.
So what's the situation of your buyer? Do they need to be in there, or what's the situation?
They need to live there. Yeah,
they're living there, so they're going to give the N12 notice. What happens if they don't vacate?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like we were gonna pick closing February 3rd, so we're gonna give it 2 full months, right? So right now it's November 7th, right?
Yeah.
So January 31st is 2 full months, so we're gonna look for closing date February 3rd.
But what happens if it goes to like March or they don't stay? Like what is it possible?
It's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be an issue with the mortgage because we need to close before February 15th.
Why is that? Because the approval.
So the mortgage. Yeah, exactly.
The approval expires. Can they not get a new approval? What I'm trying to get at is the move-in situation. Like, where are they living? Are they living at home? Are they renting? Can they extend it if they needed to?
No, the mortgage guy says it has to close before the 15th because
Is it possible to assume the tenant?
I mean, it can close. I mean, assume the tenant, but she doesn't want to assume the tenants.
Yeah, of course not. Why would she, right? But I'm just saying, if you really needed to.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, the worst case scenario, we had to, but it's just going to sound like a headache. So have you ever put anything on there where if the property's not vacant, deal's terminated?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that, but then you leave your client in a hole, right? Like, what happens if February 8th comes along and it's not vacant? So do you have to absolutely...
what would you do?
Well, do you have to absolutely get this unit?
Yeah, there's not a lot of options. There's 900,000 detached double-car garage. There's nothing out there.
There's a couple options. You can either close first and assume the tenant, or maybe close first, assume the tenant and hold some money back in trust, or maybe negotiate a discount, extend the closing if you wanted to, but then you have to go through a new mortgage approval.
We can't do that. Yeah, there's no option for that.
Okay, well, it's very situation dependent, right? So every deal is different.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it and kind of think about what would happen if there's a chance the tenant doesn't vacate.
So the only option is assuming the tenant, or
you extend the closing, but you can't extend the closing.
I can't, exactly.
Are you sure you can't? Because what if you, the rates will come down by then, right? Come down a little bit more.
I know, but this mortgage is very difficult. This one's not an easy one. And we're told that we're already given 120 days and they can't stretch out to exactly. Like, deadline was February 15th, so we're trying to close roughly give or take 10 days before that too, at latest. We're trying to close earlier, but...
If you absolutely have to have this property and you can't move on to something else, then you're going to have to assume the tenant. So what does that mean? That means you could either charge a penalty for the headaches, or you could potentially hold some money in trust until it actually becomes vacant and becomes the landlord's problem to get the money. But it could take months though, right? So that's the other thing. Like, the one thing about who's paying for the issue and who's is one thing, but what happens if they have nowhere to live? If they sold their house or they gave notice or whatever?
She's renting right now, so she's gonna have to give a notice to vacate. So anyways, like, if I was to put like a clause in there just saying we want vacant possession, and if it's not vacant and we end up closing, the lawyers can deal with them. We can withhold some funds anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's how you put the deal together. It's how you negotiate it, right? So you can do that ahead of time, or you can wait till if there's a problem that blows up, then you deal with it then.
So if we were to do it ahead of time, how would we do it? Like, how would you...
Like I said, it depends on what you want to negotiate, right? So you might want to say something like, if the unit cannot be vacant, then the funds will be held in trust until the unit is vacant. Like, it just depends how you structure it.
Right. Have you structured something like that before with funds being withheld?
I've had holdbacks, yeah, but not for the full amount. I mean, you just say the funds will be held in trust until vacant possession can be provided.
Like, how much would you
I would do the whole thing personally, but up to you.
The whole thing?
Well, actually, they might not be able to do the whole thing because they might have a mortgage on it, right? So they might not be able to discharge the loan. But at least, anyway, hold the proceeds in trust. I just get with your lawyer to discuss what because I don't know what your situation is, like what your client's situation is. So I don't know, maybe like make up a number. What would make your client happy if they had to assume the tenant and had to deal with the problem themselves?
Like, would they like 50,000 be reasonable?
It could be. I mean, you could factor in living costs in there, like for maybe they have to get a hotel or something. Any kind of legal representatives that you have to hire. Like, it just depends.
Okay, I guess, I have to talk to her about it. I'll see if she's comfortable with that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, man.
All right,
okay,
bye.